All right, welcome. This is DB Talking Now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. Welcome, Eagles fans, sports fans everywhere. How are you guys doing on this beautiful Sunday afternoon? We are 30 minutes away from the NFC Championship game between the Packers and the Buccaneers. So Aaron Rodgers taking on Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. I personally believe that Aaron Rodgers is absolutely going to destroy that defense. Just watching Aaron Rodgers play last week, he just looks like he's in that Aaron Rodgers zone. Where his hips are swiveling, he's pivoting with ease, and boom, fire, and all of a sudden you get a 15-yard completion or a 45-yard touchdown or what have you. I don't need to explain the ins and outs of Aaron Rodgers' passing game. We all know him very well. He is phenomenal, and he will destroy Todd Bowles' defense. So, with that said, we do have some news on the Eagles coaching staff. Nick Sirianni, new head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles, did go ahead and bring over the defensive backs coach that he had with him in Indianapolis, Jonathan Gannon. So Jonathan Gannon has been hired to run the defense. He will be the Eagles' new defensive coordinator. Awesome. This is what I was excited about. This is one of those reports that came out right away. The one thing that came out with the initial report that Atlanta was actually hot on the trail, but we don't really need to worry about Atlanta anymore because I believe that they went ahead and hired Dean Pease to be their defense coordinator. But yeah, Jonathan Gannon is going to be the Eagles' new defensive coordinator, and I'm excited about this. Because the one thing to go along with the Colts, ever since 2017. Is this fact. Their offense has gotten better. Obviously, we know about that with them hiring Frank Reich and everything like that. And but their defense has gotten better as well. They've gotten better as a whole. The entire team has gotten better all around. So it's not just what Frank Reich has done and the contributions from our new head coach Nick Sirianni, but also on the defensive side as well. So Jonathan Gannon, defensive backs coach from the Indianapolis Colts, is now coming over to Philadelphia to be the new Eagles defensive coordinator. And they have gotten they have done a great job. They've been getting increasingly better in each statistical standpoint. And so that's what I'm looking forward. That's what I'm looking forward to them bringing here. The one thing that I do know that has contributed to their increase in success and getting better in progression on the defensive side of the ball, obviously, is they've brought in some key pieces over the last few years, and that would excuse me one second, and that would be pieces like safety Malik Hooker. It would be pieces like linebacker Darius Leonard. So as far as the Eagles are concerned, and I'm sure I speak for every Eagles fan when I say this, that's exciting. That's exciting because that means that he knows what it takes to get better on defense because he's seen both sides of the spectrum. When you don't have pieces, it's hard to get better. It's hard to progress. But when you add pieces, you can see yourself get better. And Darius Leonard and the linebacker core, Darius Leonard, when they added him through the draft, he made a huge difference to that defense. Malik Hooker as well. So they've increasingly gotten better. So I'm hoping for moves like that. I'm hoping that they do focus a little bit more on bringing in some new key pieces to that defense because that's what we will need. And I'm not taking anything, and I've said this in previous streams, obviously, I'm not taking anything away from the progression of some of our younger players on defense. I still want to keep Josh Sweat around. Like I love how well he's played over the last couple of years, how much he's progressed and things like that. And I think linebacker Alex Singleton was one of our brighter spots this last season in a very abysmal effort from our defense for pretty much most of the year. but I'm not going to overplay his potential either. But I just want to say I believe he deserves a chance to compete for a starting spot in camp. So, but then again, it depends on who they bring in for sure. So I'm really excited about the addition and bringing Jonathan Gannon over to coach the Eagles defense. I think that's going to be really exciting. But the one big thing for me, obviously, the one thing that I'm really looking out for is who is going to be your quarterback's coach, who is going to be your offense coordinator. So we're still on the hot ticker. We're still on the clock, still waiting for those bombs to drop. So that is going to be the big news. That's what I believe is going to be really the game changer in this entire coaching staff, is who those guys are going to be, because those guys need to get along with Carson Wentz as well. And I understand, like, when we talk about those guys need to get along with Carson Wentz, it's starting to sound like we're babying him a little bit, but like, he's your franchise quarterback. So he does deserve some say, and we see what's going on in Houston with Deshaun Watson. They told him he could be involved in some of the talks as far as getting a general manager is concerned. On a normal day, I would say, okay, well, Deshaun Watson is expecting too much, is saying too much, expecting too much. But they told him he could be a part of those talks, and then they turned their back on him. So yes, he is upset. So look, this is your franchise guy. This is your franchise quarterback. This is the guy that you want to build around. You have to make sure that you're building around him. And I say that again, you have to make sure that you're building around him. And I expect Nick Sirianni to do a good job with that. He has a track record of doing that. He is, from the sounds of it and from the endorsements of Frank Reich himself, from the sounds of it, he is a player's coach, but he's also going to coach his coaches, and he's also going to go hard on you when he needs to go hard on you. So from what it sounds like, he is what we wanted Doug to be, but he is what we wanted Doug to be. He has what Doug was missing. So, and that is the ability to coach your coaches and just be innovative and creative and go hard on your players when you need to. So my big thing is going to be, who is the quarterback's coach going to be? Who is the offense coordinator going to be? Because Press Taylor isn't staying here. Press Taylor cannot stay here. He cannot stay here. We cannot have any inkling of the former regime here. And speaking of the former regime, there absolutely is another bomb drop that I have to drop on you right now. Deuce Staley does want to be released from his contract. Deuce Staley wants to be released from his contract. He does not want to be on this Philadelphia Eagles staff any longer. And look, I can't blame Deuce. I can't blame Deuce Staley. They interviewed Deuce Staley back in 2013 when he interviewed for the job before they gave it to Chip Kelly. He interviewed for the job back in 2016 and was a strong candidate before they gave it to Doug Peterson. He interviewed for the job this offseason, and considered him a strong candidate and didn't get the job. So what did they? So and to go along with that, there is other lines in between the tea leaves, obviously, and that is he did also interview for the offense coordinator role back before they gave it to Mike Groh. And so in turn, because they did not give it to Deuce, they gave him. Let's be honest. It was a throwaway title. They gave him the assistant head coaching job. The assistant head coaching title, but he was still coaching the running backs. He's still the running backs coach. If you were speaking to a stranger about who Deuce Staley is, you can get away with just saying he's the running backs coach for the Philadelphia Eagles. He's the running backs coach for the Philadelphia Eagles. Does Deuce Staley deserve a hell of a lot more than that? You're damn right he does. You're damn right he does. Deuce Staley is beloved by the city of Philadelphia. He's a phenomenal running back coach. The work that he did with the entire backfield in 2017, talking about Corey Clement and LeGarrette Blount, and then bringing Jay Ajayi in midway through the season and handling the egos of a running back room where you had two running backs in Jay Ajayi and LeGarrette Blount who were probably considered starters and who could have been starters. And to handle that with success was a phenomenal job and finesse of coaching on Deuce Staley's part. The other thing as well, Deuce Staley has, let's talk about Corey Clement. Let's talk about Corey Clement for a second. What was Corey Clement? Was he a fifth round pick? He was a fifth round pick, I believe. Nobody really expected Corey Clement to do much coming into his rookie season, but I mean, he ended up becoming the Super Bowl hero. He had 100 receiving yards at the running back position. He had a phenomenal rookie season, and that is all accredited to Deuce Staley. So yeah, does he want out of his contract? Yes. Is it justified? Yes, you're damn right it's justified. They absolutely screwed Deuce Staley. You can only beat around the bush, throwing some sort of facade that looks like respect for so long before eventually your victim finds out. So the assistant head coaching title that they gave him when he lost out to the offense coordinator role to Mike Groh 2 years ago was just a throwaway. So he deserves every right to be released from his contract. Am I upset about it? Yeah, of course I'm upset about it. Would I love to keep Deuce? Of course I would love to keep Deuce Staley. I would love to have Deuce Staley continue to coach the running backs here in Philadelphia because he does such a phenomenal job. And here's my thing. This is what I think is happening. I think that he probably wouldn't have minded being promoted to offense coordinator and he would have been able to stay for this season under Nick Sirianni. The issue is this. My guess is that behind closed doors, they said, Deuce, we're not going to roll with you for offensive coordinator. And yes, is it justified for him to ask to be released from his contract? You're damn straight it is. Look, I was listening to Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless talk about this on Undisputed, and Shannon Sharp kind of went off about it. He thinks it is definitely a race thing. There is no reason why Deuce Staley isn't. I mean, it's an odd thing. Why isn't Deuce Staley getting head coaching buzz anywhere else other than Philadelphia? This man has done phenomenal things with the running backs position. He coached up LaShawn McCoy when he was coming out of college. He did great things. He did great things with Miles Sanders. Look what he's done with Boston Scott. Boston Scott was a practice squad player for the New Orleans Saints. The New Orleans Saints were trying to groom Boston Scott to be their next Darren Sproles. And guess what? They were late on it. They were letting him just sit there on the practice squad. So what did the Eagles do? The Eagles picked him up off the practice squad and then brought him over to be coached by Deuce Staley. And Deuce Staley turned Boston Scott into a prominent premier role player in this Eagles running back room. And now you got some fans thinking that Boston Scott should start over Miles Sanders when Miles Sanders was a second-round pick out of Penn State. Lack of respect. So I agree. 100%. They better grant him his release. Because other than that, it's just a slap in the face. Now, I don't know where Deuce is going to go from here because there are no reports of him getting coaching jobs anywhere else. And that's absolute hogwash. It's absolute hogwash. He should have offers lining up behind the door. And it should be breaking the door. We should be talking about construction for new doors every 5 seconds because Deuce Staley is. That's how good of a fucking coach he is. That's how good of a coach Deuce Staley is. And I don't know what Nick Sirianni's plan is to replace Deuce Staley, but he better come up with a good one because this is a phenomenal, beloved former Philadelphia Eagles running back that you're losing, and also just a phenomenal person in general. Everybody loves Deuce. You had the players before they hired Nick Sirianni to be the head coach for the Philadelphia Eagles. You had players texting Jeffrey Lurie, sending messages, sending emails, saying, "We want Deuce, we want Deuce, we want Deuce, we want Deuce." And you also had former players, Malcolm Jenkins, Chris Long came out saying they should hire Deuce Staley. LeGarrette Blount came out and said they should hire Deuce Staley. Now, I have no issues or qualms with the hiring of Nick Sirianni. I like that hiring. But if I see anything regarding how Deuce Staley is being selfish for asking for his release from his contract, then I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna be upset because Jeffrey Lurie and Howie Roseman have shown haven't really. They say that they respect him. You know, the report is that they respect him, but this isn't it. And is Shannon Sharpe right? Possibly. Shannon Sharpe possibly could have been right with the whole race thing. I mean, you had Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy was one of the top head coaching candidates, and he didn't get many interviews. And you had Dan Campbell. Former tight ends coach, former tight end, get a head coaching job for the Detroit Lions. When you have Eric Bieniemy in Kansas City, who is the offense coordinator for one of the, if not the best quarterback in the NFL, who is probably going to go to the Super Bowl again. And we have yet to talk about how there is a prominent report of him taking a head coaching job anywhere. There's only there aren't really any other team. There aren't really any other teams with open head coaching positions right now. So Nick Sirianni better come up with a plan to replace Deuce Staley. He better come up with a plan. He better come up with a plan for bringing in a solid offense coordinator, solid quarterbacks coach, because Press Taylor cannot stay in Philadelphia. He's got a tough Nick Sirianni has a tough job ahead. And they all have to get along with Carson. Well, this is DB talking now. DB talking Birds. DB talking Philadelphia Eagles. We are 15 minutes out from the NFC Championship game between the Packers and the Buccaneers. Aaron Rodgers taking on Tom Brady and that Buccaneers defense. Todd Bowles in that Buccaneers defense. And my belief is that Aaron Rodgers is absolutely going to destroy them because Aaron Rodgers, as I said in the beginning of this stream, for those who just joined, Aaron Rodgers is going to obliterate Todd Bowles' defense. Because one, I've never been a big Todd Bowles fan. So I think that Aaron Rodgers is just going to absolutely slaughter him. But we will definitely see. We will definitely see in 15 minutes because that is when that game starts. Right now it is 12:45 Mountain Standard Time, and it starts 1 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. That is my time out of Arizona. And what does that mean? Look, I do want to go back to the Deuce Staley thing just for a second. What does that mean going forward? How is that going to look? You know, you had these players that came out and spoke for Deuce, wanted him to be the head coach. How is that going to look? for the players coming into this locker room? Is that going to result in a dysfunctional locker room now? Are you going to have players like casting a side eye every time that they don't agree with something that Nick Sirianni might say? That's not a good way to start. That's not a good way to start. Nick Sirianni is going to have to win this. Nick Sirianni is going to have to win over this locker room, and he's going to have to do it quick. And is the best way to do that with Carson Wentz? I don't know. That's tough. You want to know why I don't know? Because I mean, obviously, it goes through reports of towards the end of the season where players were there were reports of players possibly liking Jalen Hurts better for the quarterback position than Carson Wentz. And so it is Nick Sirianni's first course of action, is his best way to win over the locker room to get in with Carson Wentz right away. I don't think so. I mean, and that kind of goes to the fact that everybody's thinking this head coaching hire is all about Carson Wentz and da 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 da. And it's like, yeah, it may have been a little bit, but it's not all about that. I think that's a blind-eyed view to take when you're talking about this head coaching hire. Like, yes, does he have experience coaching the quarterbacks and the wide receivers? Did he play a prominent role in coaching up Jacoby Brissett when Andrew Luck spontaneously retired? Did he have a prominent role in coaching up Phillip Rivers for his final season before he just retired this past week? Yes, he did. But he also had a prominent role in coaching up the wide receivers as well. You know, so it's not just about the quarterback. It's about everybody. It's about, I mean, especially when he's getting the head coaching job, it's about everybody. So I don't want to, I'm tired of hearing that. I feel like that's a waste of airwaves, really, is saying that the Eagles just made this all about fixing Carson Wentz. It's not all about fixing Carson Wentz. It's about fixing this team. If they made it all about fixing Carson Wentz, it's a waste of time. It was a waste of time. And we're going to be looking for a head coach next year. Plain and simple. Plain and simple. Now, obviously, we'll have to see what happens. I mean, the painting is actually on the wall already. They're gonna stick with Carson Wentz. But now that Phillip Rivers is retired in Indianapolis, does that mean that is where Jalen Hurts is going? We will see. Not really sure how Frank Reich may have felt about Jalen Hurts coming out of college. So we'll just have to keep our eyes and ears open for that one as well. But this is DB Talking now, DB Talking Birds, DB Talking Philadelphia Eagles. The game is about to start. I will be with you later to brush up on some updates, and I'm sure we'll have some more coming in throughout the day. And obviously tomorrow I will be with you guys again. Have a beautiful, beautiful Sunday. Enjoy some great football. Enjoy some great food. Go Pack. I guess that's what I'm going to say because I'm rooting for Aaron Rodgers. And then once the Super Bowl comes around, if we see Andy Reid and the Chiefs in the Super Bowl, then I'll be rooting for Andy. So go Birds, baby.